and welcome to 6 o'clock Live. We've a real A-team for you tonight.
Comedy queen Cilla Black.
Mr Magic himself, Paul Daniels.
And all the way from Hollywood, Mr T, alias B.A. Baracus.
Because remember, if you've got a problem and you can find them, then maybe you can hire...
You've got it, the A-team.
Well, I'm afraid the winter of discontent continues on the rails, with commuters putting up with thousands of delays and hundreds of cancellations. The question everybody wants answered is, when is somebody going to do something about it? Well, tonight, at last, your chance to put Mr Misery Man, as commuters call him, on the spot.
His name, Chris Green. He's the boss of Network South East. And after another awful autumn with endless cancellations, 3-hour delays and, yes, those leaves on the line, there are clearly a lot of things you'd like to say to him.
Why there's so many cancellations? Why the trains are so bloody dirty? Why they're so packed? Right, why aren't there enough seats? If it was cattle, they'd be done for it.
Also tonight, the Vikings are coming.
Why an airline price war and bargains galore mean London's West End is full of Christmas shoppers from Scandinavia.
I think I like London. It's a very nice town and it's much cheaper here, I think, in Helsinki. Helsinki is now this time quite expensive city, I think, most of in Europe.
And Jeni tonight, well, she's doing a bit of early Christmas shopping in Kensington, where, with the help of some famous faces, she's asking, what am I bid? Jeni?
Hi, welcome to a very festive Kensington Town Hall for a very important event. There's going to be lots of celebrities turning up for a very special reason. Now, they're not coming for a drink, they're coming to sell things, believe it or not. And I, myself, am going to be selling a very special little Patricia Roberts number. It's going to be an all-star auction. Yes, it is. Now, don't get confused. We'll tell you who it's going to be for much, much later on. But right now, why don't you join in the festivities with Mr Chaz and Dave and the Goyles. See you later.
Thank you, Jeni. Well, more from Jeni and her celebrity auction later, when, don't forget, our star guests are Paul Daniels, Mr T of the A-Team and Miss Cilla Black. But first, with tonight's news from around the South East, here's Anna Maria. Good evening to you.
Good evening, Frank, and good evening. Police launched a dramatic appeal today to try to reduce knife crime on London streets. The capital's youth are being urged to hand in their weapons at police stations with no questions asked. Ken Andrew reports from Holborn Police Station.
These secure bins will become familiar sights outside every London police station over the next 6 weeks. They'll be there to encourage youngsters to hand in their knives, and police say there'll be no questions asked. On display today, some of the evil-looking weapons that police officers have faced carrying out their duties. It's a growing problem. In the last 3 months, 19 officers have suffered knife attacks, and police fear it'll get worse as more youngsters carry knives for self-defence.
It's not just street-hardened thugs who carry knives. People carry knives for all sorts of reasons. For self-defence, because they think it's clever to do so, it's fashionable to do so. And what we want to do is to encourage as many people as possible to think about why they carry knives, to get rid of their knives, and for the parents, and for the families, and for the friends of these people, to encourage them to get rid of their knives now.
It's a measure of the scale of the problem facing police that even police stations in relatively peaceful areas will operate the scheme. 3 years ago, a similar amnesty in just 16 of the Met's 74 divisions produced 1,200 knives. The amnesty comes exactly 1 week after a police sergeant was stabbed to death and 2 other police officers seriously injured in knife attacks. 2 men have been charged in connection with those incidents, but today there have been further important developments. Linda Ward reports from Waltham Forest Magistrates Court.
The man accused of killing Sergeant Alan King left Waltham Forest Magistrates Court today charged with 2 further murders. The body of 30-year-old Lorna Bogle was found on the 21st of November in the hallway outside her flat on West Avenue Road in Walthamstow. On Napier Road in Leytonstone 3 days later, 37-year-old Javid Iqbal's body was discovered in the back garden of his home. Both bodies had multiple stab wounds. 26-year-old Nicholas Vernage, who's unemployed and of no fixed address, is accused of their murders. No application for bail was made at the court and he was remanded in custody for 7 days. He first appeared here on Monday charged with the murder of Sergeant Alan King. In a separate hearing, Peter Grenfell appeared charged with Alan King's murder. Like Vernage, he too is accused of the attempted murder of 2 police constables in Thornton Heath. The defendants appeared separately after an application by the prosecution on the grounds of security. He was remanded in custody for 7 days. Linda Ward, LWT News, Waltham Forest.
No date has yet been set for the funeral of Sergeant King. His widow, understandably, is still too deeply distressed to talk about the incident. Ken Andrew, LWT News, Holborn.
Knife violence on London streets. In his spare time, Graham Guilford worked as a special constable, helping the elderly and children across the road. Today, he was jailed for 9 years for sexually abusing boys in care. Lisa Hazelhurst was in court.
For years, 11 deaf boys suffered untold misery behind the closed doors of Oak Lodge School. Their abuser was an unlikely suspect. 41-year-old Graham Guilford was a special police constable and a respected charity worker. Everyone liked him. But for the children at the Wandsworth School, he was a bully who terrorised his young victims into silence.
That abuse was made worse because Guilford's victims are profoundly deaf and cannot speak, making their horror and embarrassment all the more difficult to communicate. The judge told Guilford he had substantially added to their problems.
They are coping with it extremely well, but we do recognise that they will need extra care and attention, and as far as we can give it, then of course we shall.
The boys' silence was broken when they courageously reported Guilford to the police, and today he was jailed on 17 sex charges for 9 years. The judge said, over 7 years you systematically and persistently molested boys at the school. You have proved yourself totally unfit to have any responsibility for children. This was a terrible betrayal of trust. He also ruled that schools should have better procedures for dealing with the torment of abuse. Lisa Hazelhurst, LWT News, Wandsworth.
Other news tonight, manhunts for 3 suspects north and south of the river. 2 prisoners cut through steel mesh on the roof of Bedford Police Station and escaped. They've been named as 34-year-old David Ashby and 36-year-old Nicholas Jones, both accused of drug dealing. And at Orpington in Kent, an armed raider fled after hijacking a post office van. He jumped from a speeding getaway car and ran off near St Mary Cray Station. His 2 accomplices were arrested after their car crashed as they drove the wrong way down the A20. Protesters are gathering outside a central London hotel tonight. It's likely to be the biggest demonstration since the leader of the French National Front, Jean-Marie Le Pen, arrived in the capital on Wednesday. Mark Jordan is at the Charing Cross Hotel. Mark, what's Le Pen doing there tonight?
Well, Anna Maria, when Le Pen goes to dinner, the protesters come out. The whole of the Charing Cross Hotel currently cordoned off, awaiting his arrival. He's here at the invitation of Western Goals Institute, a British right-wing group. Rather impressed by his abilities to catch votes in France, they'd like some of that success over here.
Jean-Marie Le Pen today spoke of his concern that nationalism in Europe had become a dirty word. He told of his fight to ensure French people in France have priority over foreigners.
The problem of immigration, in our view, is one of the major dangers threatening not only France, but also the whole of Europe. We've gone beyond the limits of acceptance for foreigners.
As Le Pen spoke across London in the East End, it became clear that the British National Party will now enter the next general election on a Rights for Whites campaign, following in what they claim to be the footsteps of our good friend Jean-Marie Le Pen. Le Pen says he hasn't spoken to the BNP, but several Labour MPs are suspicious.
That's the purpose of his visit to London this week, to build a British end to a European network, really giving the same message that Europe is a home for whites, Europe is going to be a racist place, and he is promoting that degree of racism.
Mark, who's going to be attending this dinner tonight?
I don't think even they know that at the moment. The whole of the Tory front bench has condemned him, so if a Tory MP does turn up, you'll read about it tomorrow. Anna Maria.
Thank you, Mark. And there'll be more in LWT News Weekend on Le Pen's visit to London and the changing face of the far right in Britain. LWT News Weekend on Sunday at 12:30. Now, what a difference a day makes. Yesterday, the property company Rose Hall welcomed Her Majesty the Queen to Liverpool Street to officially open the new Broadgate development. Today, Rose Hall's shares dipped dramatically as it announced a loss of more than £226 million. The firm, which is also involved in developing Bishopsgate, Ludgate and King's Cross, is embarking on a major debt-reducing programme. Meanwhile, Spurs have asked shareholders and fans to dip into their pockets to ease the club's debts. The club chairman, Alan Sugar, announced the rights issue in the city today. The target is £7 million to enable Tottenham to resume stock exchange trading in the new year. One chain of London cinemas shook off the recession today by selling tickets at a fraction of the usual price. As David Harvey discovered, it's the start of a cut-price ticket war in the West End.
Christmas has come early for film buffs. From the big screens in Leicester Square, moviegoers can now enjoy a blockbuster for less than the price of a pint. As the recession still bites the industry, the Prince Charles Cinema hopes to pack them in again, with tickets for all performances slashed from £6 to a mere £1.20.
Nowadays, where money is very short, there are a huge number of people who just simply can't afford to go out to the cinema anymore.
And word about the big screen bargains has spread quickly.
It's excellent. I think most cinemas in London today are so expensive, especially around Leicester Square.
I think it'll bring more people back to the cinema. It'll be a very good thing for the industry.
The cheap seat plan could start a price war in cinema land. Here in Leicester Square, if you want to get a good seat to see a blockbuster, you'll have to pay about £9 a ticket. And that makes London one of the most expensive cities in the world for a night out at the movies.
Because Spain is one quarter than this, about 500-600%, more or less.
It's expensive, more expensive than in the United States.
£9 is a lot.
So you wouldn't go to the cinema here while you're on your visit here?
I'd plan to. I haven't been yet, but £9 I might not.
If the box office bargain proves to be a hit, then big screens in the West End may have to terminate some higher prices. David Harvey, LWT News, Leicester Square.
Finally, from the news desk, he was once a pop superstar, adored by millions and worth a fortune. Today, Les McEwan, the former lead singer with the Bay City Rollers, was fined for drink driving and asked for time to pay. His riches to rags story was told at Wells Street Court when McEwan was banned from driving for 3 years and fined £250. That's all our news this evening. There'll be more at 10:30. Frank.
Thank you very much, Anna Maria. Well, now a warning for you. The following part of the programme may include scenes or comments that some viewers may find disturbing.
Especially if you or someone you love uses Network South East.
Well, the sad fact is, though, that travelling by rail this winter has been far from a laughing matter.
Cancellations, delays, staff shortages, overcrowding, filth, no passenger announcement. The list of moans and groans about Network South East goes on and on and on.
In fact, the number of complaints has never, ever been higher, up 54% this year. And in the meantime, BR's excuses like...
leaves on the line.
Wheel adhesion.
The wrong type of rain.
And who could forget llamas on the line.
Those excuses just keep getting more and more bizarre, and the complaints louder and louder, both about services and Network South East's boss, Chris Green, as I discovered yesterday on the Fenchurch Street to Southend service. When it comes to delays and cancellations, this line is reckoned to be the worst in Britain.
It's just disgusting, really. The amount of prices they charge us, we're just not getting what we pay for.
Inadequate trains, inadequate seating, dirty trains, poor timetable keeping. It's totally unreliable.
They never run on time, always overcrowded, hardly ever get a seat in the mornings.
It could be worse, but I don't know how.
Chris Green was here now. What questions would you like to ask him?
Why there's so many cancellations? Why the trains are so bloody dirty? Why they're so packed? Right, why aren't there enough seats? If it was cattle, they'd be done for it.
I would like to know why the management can't respond better to the problem.
Why can't they put more trains on and let us know about, why they're cancelled so often?
I'd just like to ask him why he's always wishing to pass the buck, that it's the government's fault. Surely he's there to manage. There should be a better excuse than, it's the lack of investment by the government.
I've had difficulty finding employment, and it's been directed to me, why should they employ me, the fact that I actually travel up on the Fenchurch Street line.
So employers have actually asked you whether you have to come to work on this line?
That's right. And they say, well, what guarantees have I got getting to work with the knowledge that it's such a bad line?
On the excuse cards, the late cards that you can pick up at the station manager's office, they're printed with 8 separate different excuses. What I'd like to ask Chris Green is there a special prize for getting all 8 boxes ticked on this card? Do I hit the jackpot then?
If Chris Green, chairman of Network South East, were here now, what would you say to him?
Resign.
So, some pretty tough talking. Well, of course, we've been asking for a month now for someone from Network South East to answer complaints like those and to explain just what's being done to make things better.
We wanted the man at the top, known by commuters as Mr. Misery Man. His name, Chris Green. He's the head of Network South East. Well, after 4 weeks, he finally agreed yesterday to face the flak. I couldn't help starting with those leaves on the line.
I think rather like black ice on the road, there's never going to be a perfect solution. You can ameliorate it, but you won't eliminate black ice. And I shan't eliminate leaves which get wet and oily on the track.
But it's not just leaves, is it? I mean, last winter we heard that there was the wrong type of snow, and I think someone this year said the wrong type of drizzle. Doesn't these sort of excuses make British Rail look stupid?
If you want an all-weather railway, which is going to be absolutely weatherproof and absolutely vandal-proof, you are going to have to go to a different order of investment. There's no way we can manufacture trains at today's cost to cover every eventuality.
One of the commuters on the South End to Fenchurch Street line apparently lost 50 hours. That's more than a week's work in a year due to the trains. How can you possibly justify that sort of disruption?
Well, we're desperately aware of it. We honestly do know the answer, and there is no quick fix. We are putting more engineers on in the short term. We're going to improve information systems, but the only solution is a reliable signalling system, and a 1932 signalling system is not reliable. Only this week we had a day with 3 failures in one day. That's no way to run a railway.
So what would you say to that man that was turned down for a job merely because he had to travel on that South End line?
I think it's getting a slightly exaggerated press at the moment, but you could also say that, I think, of the North Circular at times. You're never going to get transport in London perfect, but we can certainly get it a damn sight better.
One of the principal grumbles that people had was that when trains are delayed or cancelled or whatever, they're overcrowded, that they're never told why.
I fully accept that, and I think it is our biggest sin. Starting in January, we've got a super new information system coming where we can broadcast to every station right down the track, and we can also broadcast in by bleepers to the guards on the trains. I think that will revolutionise communication on the line, and people are right to be critical at the present.
But people are paying large sums of money, hundreds if not thousands of pounds, up front, in advance, for a service that they're not really getting.
We are paying the highest fares in Europe, in Britain, because we have the lowest subsidy. What we need with that low subsidy is a steady investment flow so we can solve these problems.
And the Transport Users Consultative Committee recorded complaints about the frequencies of trains and said that they'd tripled up by 201%.
Yes, the actual number of complaints compared to the passengers is small. I agree the percentage is high. The public are very aware now of consumerism. They have very high standards, and they are demanding more from us, and quite rightly so. But we aren't going to be able to deliver it all in one day.
And grievances over punctuality up by 54%, and overcrowding by 43%.
Yes.
I mean, the service doesn't seem to be getting better for an awful lot of people.
I think we've got to be realistic. We are coming through a huge recession with the rest of the country. We've cut back dramatically on investment. We have cut back on the number of trains we're operating to save money, and we're trying to live within our subsidy.
Chancellor Norman Lamont says British Rail's been given £1 billion worth of government support, that in his autumn statement. Surely the problems with British Rail can't purely be financial.
A lot of the money in the autumn statement is going on the Channel Tunnel route, which opens in 1994. I fully support that. I think it's important, but it is starving other parts of the railway of money.
So what are you saying, that you need more money from the government?
I think we need more steady money. If we're going to be run on the short-term basis of invest when there's a boom and don't invest when there's a recession, you're never going to get the railways right.
Terry Dix, who's a member of the Parliamentary Select Committee on Transport, he lays the blame for the poor commuter services solely at the door of British Rail's management, not government funding. How do you react to his claims of, I think he called it, sheer incompetence at management level?
I think that's a political statement before an election, and I don't wish to comment on that.
Well, pretty well batted, Chris Green. With me now is Jeff Bryson. He's the Vice-Chairman of the Southend Rail Travellers Association. Your reaction to what he had to say?
Well, I think that he's right in that we need steady investment there. No money has been put in over the last 40 years there, and the signalling system is much older than I am. And we need that steady there. Both parties in government have failed to put money in, and we need to get rid of the dead hand of the Treasury, which is demoralising the whole of the setup.
Yeah. He is on losers and nothing, isn't he, really? I mean, the lowest subsidy in the whole of Europe. I mean, what can he do with that when you say that the signal box is older than we are?
Yeah. Yes, I mean, I don't know what he can do, but you know, it's a political question there, and both parties are bad at it.
What about privatisation? People talk about privatisation, but the last time we privatised the railways, it was a disaster.
Well, I don't think anybody will buy it there. They might buy Intercity, but they won't buy the Fenchurch Street line, not without enormous incentives, and you're back in the hands of the Treasury again.
So what do you do ploughing up and down that line? I mean, do you blame the management, or is it money, or is it a combination of both?
I think it's both there. You need more money regularly, all the time. They are put into the whole of the system, so we're not on 50 and 60-year-old stuff, and we need better management. Perhaps bring back the detail management there, bring back the station master, make sure the trains ran on time.
Yeah, but you can't see much dramatic happening, can you?
I can't.
Well, happier commuting, Mr. Price.
Thank you very much.
Happier commuting. Well, still to come in tonight's 6 o'clock live, not only the A-Team's Mr. T and Miss Cilla Black, but also the Vikings are coming, why Krona-crafty Scandinavians are flying to London to Christmas shop.
Would you like to fly? Just one of the gifts on offer in our guide to what's hot and what's not under the Christmas tree.
And meet Mr. Magic, a date with Paul Daniels right after these. How much longer? Not a lot. Hello again. Well, sales are beginning to pick up, apparently. More shops than ever before are opening this Sunday, flouting the trading laws. So have you started your Christmas shopping yet? Have you braved the West End at all?
Well, if you have, not only do you deserve a medal for battling through the crowds, but you're probably becoming quite accustomed by now to hearing phrases like
Hvor koster gåvan? Or being asked things like
Har många shopping dagar är det kvar till jul?
You sound like a Swedish chef, do you know that? So, why are we going through all this Scandinavian chatter? Well, for the Norwegians, the Swedes and the Danes, it does seem that London is the place to shop this Christmas.
With cut-price flights and the promise of cheaper prices on this side of the North Sea, this year more than ever before, the Vikings are invading our shores.
Christmas shoppers browsing in the West End. Nothing unusual in that, except these aren't Londoners. They're not even British. They come here from hundreds of miles away across the North Sea. Yes, the Vikings are coming. This is just one of dozens of planes bringing up to 25,000 Scandinavians into London every week. And they've only got one thing on their minds.
If you've been out shopping in the West End recently, you're bound to have noticed one thing. Scandinavians. They're everywhere. Whereabouts are you from?
Finland, from Helsinki. Yes, me too. Yeah, from Helsinki.
We are from Gothenburg, Sweden.
We're living outside Stockholm, Sweden.
And if you thought the recession was going to wipe out retailers' Christmas profits, forget it. The Viking invasion has got tills ringing like never before.
500 pounds.
£500
yes.
you spent? And do you think you'll spend more before you go home?
Yes, I have 2 days.
2 more days
yes,
to spend?
Yes.
The reason there are so many Viking visitors this year is because newspapers like this one in Oslo are full of stories about just how cheap shopping in London can be.
It's much cheaper here, I think, in Helsinki. Helsinki is now this time quite expensive city, I think, most of in Europe.
How much cheaper is it in London?
It's almost half the price.
The invasion has also been fuelled by an airfare price war back home, which has forced fares to London down by 30% compared to last year.
At the moment from Stockholm into London, it's about the cheapest fare you could get, which would be an Apex fare at 1,900 Swedish kroner, approximately 180 pounds, compared to last year 2,500 kroner, which is approximately 250 pounds.
So it's quite a saving?
It's quite a saving, yes, it is.
One typical shopper taking advantage of the lower fares is Kristina Pannoni from Stockholm. Like most Scandinavians, she's buying cosmetics, casual wear and the big draw, drawers.
Now, why are you over here shopping? Is it cheaper here?
Yes, but it's not only that. It's a great fun to shop in London too.
Yeah?
Yeah.
But do you get lots of bargains?
Oh yes, and these luxury things are much cheaper here in London. Yeah.
Hagar Asmir and her grandmother Harriet from Oslo, Norway, have also flown in on a special shop-till-you-drop deal. What sort of things are you looking for?
Vad är det vi ser efter här?
Du vill se efter undertöj, julegaver?
We're looking for lingerie, Christmas presents and shopping.
And it's not just the low prices that appeal, it's the huge variety, like in Hamleys, where Hagar was spoilt for choice, picking a gift for her 8-year-old sister.
Do you like the shop?
Oh, it's wonderful.
Yeah? And, I mean, how does it compare to back home?
In Oslo, well, I think the biggest shop in Oslo is about a tenth of the size of this, so it's overwhelming.
And at Hamleys, they're well aware of their Scandinavian fan club.
A recent check of our overseas tourists showed that 16.8% of customers are from Scandinavia. We thought that was quite a surprisingly high figure.
I left Hagar and her gran to shop on while I nipped back to the hotel where I met some other Scandinavian shoppers.
Anything else?
We bought coloured jeans.
They were all delighted with their bargain buys.
Oh, right. They're nice. Now, how much were those?
Yeah. $12.99.
And how much would they be in Sweden?
About £50.
50?
Yeah.
And I bought this.
And how much were they?
$11.99.
And how much would you have paid for that at home?
In Sweden? About £45 each.
Yes, I did. I got some shoes.
It's now 6 o'clock. Hagar and her grandmother Harriet are back. They've spent around £500 in all, but they know the more they spend, the more they'll save.
It's quite a lot of money to spend, but how much will that represent in a saving altogether, this whole trip?
Altogether, what do you tror du vi? I think we'll save around £400 all in all on shopping.
Hagar, her grandmother and the other Viking shoppers have obviously made some great savings, but they've been keeping quiet about the biggest bargain of all. Back home, this stuff can cost up to £7 a pint. Skål!
Skål! So they come purely because it's cheap here?
Well, they like London very much, and half price is obviously an attraction, but no, they like the quality of all the stuff over here.
And this from countries where they're very famous for good design, aren't they? Now, a little word of warning at this point. After the firebombing last weekend, if you are planning on going shopping in the West End, Scotland Yard are warning everybody to stay vigilant wherever you may be.
So if you see anything at all unusual, anything that makes you think twice, tell a shop security guard or a member of staff so that they can ring the police. If there's no one around, ring the police yourself. It's better to be safe than sorry.
Well, now, there are, what, 16 shopping days still left to go until Christmas?
No, 18 if you count the 2 Sundays.
You're right, you're absolutely right. So, if you haven't done yours yet, here are a few different suggestions for you.
Yes, if you want your gifts to stand out from the mountains of socks, ties, slippers and chocolates that'll soon be piling high under the nation's Christmas trees...
Never fear, 6 o'clock Live can come to the rescue. All this week, we've shopped till we dropped to bring you our top tips for the unusual gifts to give.
Unusual indeed. For starters, if you don't trust the weather forecast, this is just what you always wanted, a weather predictor. Simply put it on your wall and the coloured water rises up the spout when a storm's brewing. It costs £49.95 from the National Maritime Museum gift shop. Every home should have one.
I'm sending one from Michael Fisher's Christmas stocking straight away. Now then, with 1992 fast approaching, no good European would be without our present number 2. It's one of these. It's called the Interpreter, and you key in any word or phrase into this machine and it says it back to you in 4 different foreign languages for £150. What about the word Christmas, say, in German?
Weihnachten.
Really?
Weihnachten, grazie, Frank. I mean, Dankeschön. But let's not forget this green and pleasant land, and what better gift for the caring friends of the earth than these pencils. The lead is drilled into real twigs collected from the forest. A snip at £11.95 a pack from the leading edge stores.
Now, if you're not right on, how about some disarmed United States and Soviet missiles? I'm serious. They say the pen is mightier than the sword, but this Parker pen goes rather further than that. Part of its casing is made from the metal of real nuclear missiles. Prices from £30 upwards. Any ideas for the kids, Joe?
Yes, dinosaurs, Frank, all the rage. This furry footwear should keep the kids on their toes, tyrannatoes to be precise, enough to make a Tyrannosaurus tremble. Like them? But not a monster-sized price tag at £25.99.
You're a child. She's been playing with those all afternoon. Plus, I've got a great stocking filler here, squeaky bath plugs. This is a little creature here. He squeaks, he floats on the surface, so you'll always be able to find the plug amongst the bubbles. £6.99 from the reject shop.
Oh, I really hope I get one of those. Still not satisfied? Some people never are. Well, I bet you can't beat this. How about telling the one you love that you can make her float on hot air? A balloon ride over the home counties, sipping champagne as you go, courtesy of First Class Ballooning Limited. Prices start at £110.
Now, from the sublime to the utterly ridiculous. You won't be in the doghouse with this one. This slinky little nightie is real silk for your dog. It costs £34, while this very smart collar, can you see that? It's gold inlaid with diamonds, costs a mere bagatelle. £7,500.
No poodle should be without one. Both are from, you guessed it,
Harrods.
Yes, that's right. But Harrods' most exclusive gift this Christmas has to be these. Oscar, please bring them on. Wonderful.
Oh, my dear.
They're earrings made from diamonds and emeralds from the David Morris room. No present will upstage them this Christmas because they'll set you back. Wait for it.
Tell me.
£750,000. Yes, £750,000. And thank you very much, Oscar. I'll take 2. Thank you.
That's why the heavy came with them, I can tell you. But if you're looking for something really exclusive and you live near Kensington Town Hall, well, you've just got time to get there. Breakfast with Chris Tarrant.
Oh, no!
A Pet Shop Boys gold disc, a signed book from John Cleese, even Cliff Richard's own T-shirt. They're all on offer at a big celebrity auction tonight.
The aim is to raise at least £50,000 for Share a Capital Christmas, the charity organised by Capital for children and other people in need.
Well, a glittering array of stars offered to go along tonight. Going, gone is Jeni B. Jeni?
Welcome back to Santa's Grotto. It's a grotto with a little bit of difference because rather than giving gifts out, we're going to be taking gifts in. And before you call us mean, we're not being mean at all because Capital Radio have got to raise at least 50,000 grand, and the way that they're doing it is by flogging off celebrity stuff. So I'm Mummy Christmas, and I've got lots of little celebrities who are going to give their stuff. Come along, little girl.
Don't patronise me.
Come along, little girl.
Don't patronise me.
This
Just ask for the stuff.
Sit down. This is
She came to my home and she stole these earrings.
And what have you got for us?
I have these earrings that you came and stole from my home. So don't give me that little voice. You know exactly what you've got.
Why are
Some
you giving...
fabulous earrings that I don't want anymore.
Off you go, Ruby. Thank you
can
so
wear
much.
them.
Thank you for coming. She'll get lots of money for this. And there's a little boy here. What's your name?
On your knee too?
Yes.
My name's Sterling.
He's a very heavy little Sterling.
I bought you some hair restorer.
Hair.
Well, it didn't work for me.
No.
You don't need it. You've got
no,
plenty.
But it's like, thank you very
It's
much.
my
And this is
pleasure.
stuff. You've got nice
Thank you.
aftershave. Off you go. That's very nice. Thank you.
Hello, Father Christmas.
Oh.
Utterly blah! Oh, this is brilliant. Listen, who I brought along. See who this is? This is Pinky Punky, and he's come along to say, Mr. Malik, can I go to the toilet?
Thank you, little boy.
Hang on, I've got some tickets for the pantomime at Lewisham as well, which you're going to like too.
Thank
So
you, little boy.
You look after Pinky Punky.
Yeah.
Don't
Thank you,
care
little
for her.
boy. Thank you, little boy. Thank you. can you two stay there for just one moment, please? Now, look, the reason for this is we want to sell these things to make money, and we've got lots of celebrity gifts. We've got an autobiography of David Hampton. We've got a script. Are you ready for this? From Crime, whatever, you know, that Crime the Other Side, and we've even got a picture of Margaret Thatcher. Money has to be made. If you can't get here, watch the programme. We'll tell you what you can do, but you get down here to Kensington Town Hall and spend your money. Come along, little
One on
chaps.
both, really,
One on
I
each
don't know.
tree. Off you come. There, our little boys. And what did you
Hello,
got?
Mother Christmas. That's what we
Blooming
got.
strong young lady,
She's a
isn't she?
taffin.
Thank you, Jenny. We'll be back there in Kensington a little later. Now, earlier this week and again this morning, one of the other side's most successful stars has been in the headlines for speaking his mind about the BBC. He says in the Daily Mail today, and here's a full-page spread, that every level of management at the BBC is horrendously bad.
And he also reckons the reason so many viewers are being lost to ITV is that there aren't enough shows like his own.
Well, you never know. If he's that disgruntled, perhaps we can persuade him to change sides. All it takes is a little bit of magic. Mr. Paul Daniel.
I hate camera tricks. That's why I don't want to come over here.
Well, perhaps you won't have any choice after what you said in the Mail about the BBC.
Well, it's a bit sad that they've emphasised the criticism and underplayed the construction. I think that it is time for a major look, yes. But it has, in fact, been pointing out to me just today that there's a clause in the contract somewhere that says I'm not allowed to talk, which I find is a very big censorship.
Yeah, but they're
point.
cross, are they?
Oh, yeah, I would imagine they are.
Have you heard from them?
But then so was I, so it's only fair.
But have you heard from them?
Well, no, because I've been on the road all day plugging this video. But it's... I just think that the BBC is the greatest public broadcasting service in the world.
They might fire you as a result of that. Do you think they will?
I still would think it's a great concept for everybody in the nation to pay a little bit so that, let's face it, so that ITV have something to live against and fight against.
Yeah, but listen here, loyalty is a two-way thing. The BBC's been very loyal to you, some people would say. They've paid you a lot of money, they've given you a platform for your skills.
Yeah.
Why blow the whistle in this very public way?
Because the BBC has been changing. I've just spent 3 months in a very down business, and eventually I thought somebody's got to say something. At production level, I really do believe the BBC fee is for them to produce programmes.
The licence fee, yeah. Well,
and
OK.
that's it. That's
we'll move on to
it,
pleasant things. But you think they might dispense with your services? Seriously?
Maybe. I knew that was a possibility. I didn't realise it was in the contract, but I knew it was a possibility.
Yeah. OK, well, there we are. The Paul Daniels Magic Show, the very best of, is this offering now. And that goes back how long? Over how many series?
Since about 79, I think. 1979 was the first one. And it's all been picked by a friend of mine. I didn't pick it. I think that's too conceited. But I was surprised how entertaining it was. I mean, that sounds
What
funny.
a modest little thing to say.
Well, he's not me, you see. You sort of watch the man on the screen, don't you? And he's somebody else. There's that
but when you look back at the early illusions, are you embarrassed by them? Are you pleased by them? Did they always work?
I'm very pleased. I'm pleased that they had such a high level of entertainment value in them. Yeah. I'm quite proud of that video, yeah, really.
Yeah. Are there any new ones now? I mean, are there very sophisticated ones now, ones that you're still trying to crack?
Not that I'm trying to crack, but I'm still writing. I mean, I've already started writing the possible next series. And with electron microscopes coming into it, this season we've used Martin to present it in a modern style.
It's a family thing, isn't it? Your wife's into it, Debbie, your son's into it.
She's in the next series, she's doing mind reading, Martin's doing the modern stuff, you know. It's a shame he's not as good looking as me. But there you go, you can't have everything, can you? Yeah.
What are you doing for Christmas? I mean, the show on the BBC goes on, doesn't it?
The BBC show will
All
be
being
completely different to anything else in the series. I'm a great believer in that it shouldn't just be a Christmas tree stuck in the corner.
Yeah, okay.
You know?
Would you like me to have a word with the bloke upstairs? I mean, if there are any vacancies going around here?
I love the BBC, I really do. That's it.
Right, thank you very much indeed. Have a lovely Christmas.
Thank you.
Well, still to come in the final part of tonight's 6 o'clock Live, not only the stars' goodies going under the hammer, but also, well, they're famous for being famous. Meet the not-so-mega stars who play the fame game.
How A-Team hardman Mr T has polished up a new act, not as B.A. Baracus, but as the Genie of the Lamp.
And we have a blind date with the Queen of British telly, Miss Cilla Black. Ta-ra for now, chucks. Welcome back to you. You're watching 6 o'clock live. Well, they're all household names, aren't they? Celebrities like Kenny Lynch, Christopher Biggins, Sally James, they're typical. But can you remember what made them famous in the first place?
No. And they're not the only ones. The newspapers, game shows, and at this time of year, pantomimes are full of celebrities who are famous, but no one quite knows why.
Well, the Bergerac star John Nettles is so intrigued by this showbiz phenomenon, he's actually written this book about it called Nudity is a Public Place. It is confessions about being a mini celebrity. So, with help from him, Jeni has been investigating what it takes to be a winner in the fame game.
That's what they call you. They're famous for being, well, famous. No one can usually remember their claim to fame, but that doesn't stop them getting into gossip columns, personal appearances, and, yes, onto game shows. It's called the Fame Game, and the aim is simple: to make your celebrity status last and last.
What am I famous for? God, that's a question.
They, you know, come up to me in the street. People still do that and sort of say, you know, have you got a custard pie handy? And
I mean, Clark Gable didn't have what I got. Did you ever hear Clark Gable sing Up on the Roof? It was terrible. Absolutely terrible.
Well, I was a star in the 60s, a mega star of the 70s, superstar of the 80s, and now I'm in my 90s, I'm even better.
So do you recognise them? Now, of course, megastars like moi don't need to appear in game shows or in the gossip columns. One's already famous. Heavens, I'm appearing on 6 o'clock live. But I do have a friend, a very beautiful friend, an up-and-coming TV presenter, young, and she just needs a few tips, you understand. So here's my guide to playing the Fame Game. And who better for a little coaching than Bergerac star John Nettles? After all, he's just written a book about it.
Some people who are mini celebrities, as I think of them, people have forgotten why they were celebrated in the first place. People have forgotten why they were famous. They've been famous for so long. If you inquire why they became famous in the first instance, nobody knows. Nobody remembers.
I think it just escalates. I think you become famous because people people see you and they keep seeing you and they keep seeing you as yourself.
What advice would you give to an eager young hopeful?
Get yourself an agent.
So rule number 1, get yourself an agent. Like Patsy Martin, she knows the name of the Fame Game is getting noticed.
It's about being in the public eye, whether it's opening supermarkets, after dinner speeches, personal appearances, whether it's being on game shows, whether it's primetime chat shows. You've got to be in the public eye all the time.
Rule number 2, make sure you're always in the headlines. Anyhow, anyway, any day. And so if stardom hasn't beckoned, the man to go to is hype supremo Max Clifford. What do you do?
Make people famous.
Yes, Max has turned the likes of Derek Hatton, Pamela Borders and Bungalow Bill Wiggins into tabloid stars. He knows how to get your face in the papers, and talent's an optional extra.
There's an awful lot of people out there that are quite well known to the public that don't really have too much when it comes to talent.
A lot of celebrities that haven't got any talent.
So how can Max help me get into those celebrity headlines?
A variety of ways. It might be a film premiere, it might be a party, it might be a show business party, it might be a launch. But whatever it is, you're using that as an opportunity to attract headlines, column inches, to create headlines and column inches.
So rule number 3, fame seekers, is be seen in the right places.
Everybody says that Jess Conner will go to an opening of an envelope, and it's quite true. I do love the glamour of show business.
Now this looks the right kind of place to be seen. Channel 4's Christmas launch party at the trendy Imagination Gallery in the West End. And there should be a tabloid hack around somewhere to give me the lowdown on mini celebdom.
All the film premieres and the theatre premieres you get in London, all the PRs have an A-list and a B-list. And you can tell how good the party is if you've got A-list people like, again, Joan Collins, Jeremy Irons, those sort of major stars, people who'll be recognised on both sides of the Atlantic. They are the A-list. Then you've got your B-list. You've got Derek Hatton. I mean, he wears those, silver, sparkly, shiny suits. Looks like an extra from Barbarella.
But how can I get on those celebrity lists? I need some advice from the stars themselves.
Keep your teeth very clean.
Get yourself a nice voice. Get about a foot tall.
Or you could take all your clothes off and streak across the rugby pitch at Twickenham.
Go stark naked across a football pitch. much. I mean, you need to have a bit of a scandal attached to you. You need to do something, you know, have an affair.
So it seems if I want golden afternoons of endless game shows, shop openings and PR launches, there's only one thing for it.
I spied the most famous celebrity at the bash, super trendy pop impresario Malcolm McLaren, and I headed straight for those headlines.
Please, please, darling, you promised to marry me.
I'd rather live in hell than in heaven without you, darling.
Give us a clue. Here I come.
I hope we're very happy together. Still not sure who those stars were? Well, just for the record, Kenny Lynch made his name originally for singing Up on the Roof back in the 60s. Jess Conrad, teenage pop idol, do you remember him? Of the early 60s with his hits like Cherry Pie. Sally James, of course, was in Tiswas nearly 10 years ago. And Christopher Biggins, well, he was Nero in I, Claudius and Cilla's mate in Surprise, Surprise.
Well, one man who really is in the A-team when it comes to stardom is our next guest tonight.
He played opposite Sylvester Stallone in Rocky III. He's been a wrestling champion, a top gridiron player, and now even has his own TV series in the States.
We know him best as hardman B.A. Baracus from the A-team. Now he's about to star as the Genie of the Lamp in his first British pantomime. Welcome, Mr. T.
Thank you.
This is your evening jewellery, is it?
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yes, I saw them guys just left with that little diamond earring, you know. I said, wow. I said, get out of here. Anyway, I'm glad to be here.
And are you looking forward to being in pantomime? Your first time, isn't it?
It's my first time.
Yeah?
We got to start somewhere, you know.
Up in Liverpool?
Yes, I'm excited. I want to find the haunts of the Beatles, you know, and so it's a really great honor for me to be there.
And you're going to be Genie of the Lamp?
Genie of the Lamp, and how apropos, because I brought my own gold, got my own outfits, you know, got my hairstyle, I look like a genie, take my glasses off, I'm going to grant a couple wishes, you know, so I'm just so excited.
Yeah?
I really am. You can't believe it. I'm so excited, you know.
And are you prepared for all those children yelling?
Oh, yes. I've been reading my script. I'm ready. I'm so ready. I can't wait.
And they're throwing some insults at you?
Or whatever it takes. I just want to do a good job here, you know. So I tell you, I can't wait.
You've just come, haven't you, from a Christmas party at St. Thomas's Hospital. You do a lot of work with children,
Yes. I believe in giving something back. I was taught that the blessed of us must try to save the less of us. So that makes my trip and my time here worthwhile, because that's what Christmas is about. But not just Christmas, but every day of the year. You know, so that makes me really feel good.
Now, are you going to be wearing all this gold during the pantomime as well?
Well, not all of it, because all this gold is about 45 pounds. You know, I'm wearing some, you know, and probably wear... I probably won't wear my spoon fork, you know, because when I go out to dinner, this was dinner, you know, gold, solid gold, you know, taste the soup, cut the steak, you know, stuff like that. Then drink the water. This is water, people, you know. And these are my gold bells, not dumbbells. Dumbbells not worth anything.
You don't pump iron.
Don't pump iron. A lot of guys pump iron. Mr. T's the only man in the world who pump gold, you know. And because I had extra gold, I didn't want to wear it all on this show. It was just the rest of it, you know. I'm tired already. I'll tell you, you know.
So what about your family? Are they coming over with you?
No, I don't know. First, it depends on how good I'll be doing. If I get my dialogue right and feel myself doing a good job, then I might bring them over or not. Or I just might videotape it and send them a copy. Because they might make me laugh in the audience. You know, they might be saying, boo, daddy. You know, they'll do that.
So you might be here at Christmas all on your lonesome?
Yes, I'll be here Christmas. Now, what I do Christmas, I'll go to a hospital or go down to the low end of town, you know, and talk to the people, the homeless and things like that, you know. That's what I like to do for Christmas. I don't eat. And Christmas to me is not about giving out a whole lot of gifts. Christmas is about love, you know. So that's
well, Mr. T, thanks very much. I'm sure you make the most fantastic Genie. Thanks very much for joining us.
I'm going to do the best I can. Thank you.
Mr. T, what a load of sparklers. Now then, what do I bid for breakfast for two with Chris Tarrant? Or a pair of tickets for the Royal Box at the Duke of York's Theatre? Or even a giant gorilla? Well, the bidding's about to get underway at Kensington Town Hall in the Share a Capital Christmas Celebrity Auction. Let's go over now to the lady in red at the front row in the middle. Not Mother Christmas, but Jeni. Jeni?
20, 30, all over the place, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 110, 120...
Mummy Christmas here. Now, the last time you saw me, I was surrounded by celebrities and all their little Googles. The proof of the pudding in a thing like this is to raise the money. And if you're at an auction, you need an auctioneer. So where better to go than Christie's and Mr. Hugh Edmeades.
Thank you very much, sir. £280.
£280, Mr. Hugh Edmeades. Thank you for coming.
Not at all. Thank you for inviting me.
Now, how's it going? Are we going to raise a lot of money?
We are going to raise a huge amount of money. People have been incredibly generous with all their donations, and we're getting a huge crowd here. There's still a few seats to be filled, so hurry along to Kensington Town Hall, where we're going to generate a huge amount of money for a very worthwhile appeal.
He's taken my job away. Carry on, please. What
Right.
a wonderful little plea there. Now, if you can't get to Kensington Town Hall and you're watching on the television, I've got the dreaded Neil Fox from Capital Radio who's going to tell you what you can do.
Yes, if you can't make it here, then you can always bring new toys or unperishable goods, or, of course, money is fine, down to Euston Tower, which is just opposite Warren Street, and we'll make sure that Share a Capital Christmas gets it to needy London homes. Cheers.
Well done, well done, well done. Now, you heard, you either get down here or you get to Capital Radio. But right now, I believe we are coming up to a very, very special item.
Thank you very much. And now we come to an incredibly special item here. This is a wonderful scarf. It's a wonderful jersey as well.
Patricia Roberts.
Patricia Roberts design, donated by...
Jeni Barnett.
Jeni Barnett,
Jeni
standing
Barnett.
right here, Barnett. I said Barnett. Okay. Now, what am I offering? 50p anywhere? 50p, that's what it's worth. 10p, I have offered 10p to start with, 12, 15, 18. The crowd are going wild for it. It's over here. They're attacking the stage at 80, 90,
She said 80 pounds.
80 pounds, 80p, she said, 90p, 100p.
Oh, 50p, what a disgrace. Have you ever been asked to donate anything for a charity auction?
Oh, yes, I'm king of the pulleys. They breed in my wardrobe, didn't you know that? Well, of course, if our next guest tonight was asked to donate anything to a charity auction, I reckon it would just have to be that hat. Now then, before I introduce you, do you remember the hat? Well, here's the lady who made it famous. You can hear her as well on the blind date wedding a few weeks ago. Welcome, Cilla Black.
Frank, how could you? I mean, that's a lovely hat. I mean, it's gorgeous.
It
cost a fortune. It cost an arm and a leg, that hat.
How much?
I don't know, but they said it cost an arm and a leg. And it's designer made, you know. It really is.
Put it on for us.
Well, I will. I thought...
Has there been a lot... Has there been a lot of comment about the hat from the public?
Yes. You know, when I wore it on the day, you know, people were asking me at the reception, lend your hat, we're having soup, that kind of question. and you know, kept getting me mixed up with one of the Diddy men. And then, you know, some very cruel person said it looked like, you know, a tea cozy. I don't think... I mean, this is a designer hat. I love this hat.
Yeah, but it had a...
The problem is it doesn't love me.
It had a mixed reception, if you pardon the pun.
Well, a very mixed reception. I know. I mean, the thing is, I wanted to dress quite down for that wedding, and because I didn't want to upstage anybody.
But how can you...
and I never thought the hat would upstage everything. And it did, didn't it?
Can you wear it again?
Yes, I will. Well, I don't know, actually. I don't know.
Well, it could well be. I read there's another wedding coming up. I don't know whether you've caught up with the gossip of your show, but one of the girls is having a great thing with one of the boys she didn't pick on the show, so there could be another wedding and another opportunity to wear the hat.
Well, she's got great taste. If you're talking about the ones who I think you're talking about, it was number 2, and he had all the hair. It was all spiky, and he was a postman.
That's the one.
Yeah,
that's the one. I've been reading about it this week.
Yeah, well, we record the shows, I think you know, a little bit early in advance, but I could not forget number 2.
Now you're pantomiming again.
Yes,
Cross over there in the picture.
I'm a man, can't you see why? God, the voice goes low. Yeah, I'm Jack, and Jack and the Beanstalk.
Are you always the man, the male lead?
Oh, yeah, well, they get all the meat.
It's the thighs, isn't it?
It's not the thighs. No, it's not the thighs. It's more fun to play the fella, and get the girl in the end. And it's a great part. Jack and the Beanstalk is terrific, and I have all this business. Bob Cowgies is with me, who is now my new mate. Well, not so new, on Surprise, Surprise, and Jean Boat. Who's in bread. Oh, yeah, she's a vegetable theory.
Does this interrupt your Christmas? I mean, will you still have your family Christmas Day?
Oh, yeah. Apparently, I'm the only person. And, I'm not a big starry person at all. But I do. It's very much a family affair at Christmas. I wanted Christmas Eve off and Christmas Day and Boxing Day, and I've got it. And we open on Friday the 13th. Oh,
dear. Thanks for bringing the hat. Lovely to see you again. Well, that's it for another Friday.
Next week, our guests are the King of the Philadelphia Sound, Daryl Hall, boxer come panto Robin Hood, Frank Bruno, and for our younger viewers, none other than Matthew Corbett and Sooty.
Well, it's a great lineup, a great start to your weekend, but we will leave you tonight back at the Share a Capital Christmas auction in Kensington. I wonder how much Jeni's jumper's fetching. Whatever you're doing this weekend, have a great one, won't you? Say ta-ra.
Ta-ra. Ta-ra, chums.
Goodbye now.
Well, we're having a little fun here while there's a break in the auctioneering. My sweater got a lot more than Margaret Thatcher's picture, I can tell you. But anyway, see you next week, and we'll take it away with Chaz and Dave for a little Christmas cheer.
Yes,